What if Pakistan drops a nuclear bomb on New Delhi? Not fiction, not exaggeration, a real horrifying possibility. We all know Pakistan's mindset, a country that's been called the factory of terrorism for decades. Pulwama, Uri, Kargil, and just yesterday it happened again. India responded to a brutal terror attack in Pahalgam that killed 26 innocents with Operation Sindoor, striking deep into Pakistan's terror roots. Pakistan hit back within hours. Now the question isn't if, it's when. Imagine this, it's 8:45 a.m., you're sipping chai, life feels normal. By 8:46, a blinding flash lights up the sky. The temperature hits 300,000 degrees Celsius, hotter than the sun's surface. Within 8 kilometers, everything is vaporized, bodies gone, buildings erased. At 14 kilometers, the shockwave rips through glass, steel, and lungs. By 20 kilometers, silent radiation poisons the air, invisible, deadly. Would you survive? Is your home already doomed? Will hospitals exist? Or will they burn first? Will Delhi become the next Hiroshima? Or something worse? Even if you live through the blast, you won't escape the fallout, radiation, panic, starvation, total collapse. Will India retaliate? Will the world burn? Will this spark World War III or the end of both nations? This isn't just a scenario, it's a warning. Welcome to Histoveins, where we don't just reveal history, we drag it screaming into the present. Because some events aren't locked in the past, they're ticking toward our future. Imagine this. It's a bright morning in New Delhi. The bustling streets, the noise of traffic and people starting their day. But suddenly, all of that vanishes in the blink of an eye. What if a nuclear bomb were dropped on New Delhi right now? The moment it explodes, everything changes. You won't see it coming. It's a flash so bright it'll seem like the sun exploded. But before you can blink, the shockwave hits. That's the first thing you'll feel. The explosion from a nuclear bomb, let's say a 15-kiloton bomb, is like thousands of tons of TNT going off at once. Within a 5-kilometer radius of ground zero, everything and everyone will be instantly vaporized. Instant death. The intense heat would reach temperatures of millions of degrees Celsius, hotter than the core of the sun itself. Anyone caught in this zone will be vaporized in a split second. People living near iconic places like India Gate, gone in an instant. No chance to survive, no chance to even scream. Just a flash, and everything turns to ash. Everything within that 5 kilometers will be obliterated. Buildings, streets, vehicles, there will be nothing left. The entire city center will turn into a smoldering wasteland. As the blast expands, the shockwave travels outwards, flattening anything in its path. Within the next 3 kilometers, from 5 to 8 kilometers from the explosion, most people will be dead as well. This is where things get even worse. The buildings won't just collapse, they'll be crushed. People will be flung through the air by the force of the blast. 70% of the people in this radius will be dead from the shockwave and the thermal radiation. The skin will burn off anyone exposed and severe injuries will occur. Those who are not immediately killed will likely die from the aftermath of intense fires, suffocation or radiation sickness. The heat will be so intense that anyone within 10 kilometers will suffer from third-degree burns. That's if they're not dead already. The temperature will ignite fires across the city, burning people alive. The heat will destroy homes, cars, trees, and any form of life. Buildings will catch fire instantly, and the whole city will begin to burn to the ground. Anyone still alive in this zone won't last long. In the 10 to 15 kilometer range, people will feel severe burns and buildings will still catch fire. It's chaos. People screaming in agony, trying to escape, but with no way out. This is where the real horror comes in. As the bomb detonates, it releases enormous amounts of ionizing radiation, which begins affecting everyone in its path. For those in the inner 15-kilometer radius, radiation poisoning will begin immediately. Within minutes, people will feel nausea, dizziness, and vomiting. Within hours, they'll develop severe burns, hair loss, and blistering skin. Those who aren't in immediate danger will still suffer the effects of radiation sickness, weakness, loss of appetite, and internal bleeding. In total, millions of people will perish from the initial blast and the subsequent radiation poisoning. The population of New Delhi is over 20 million. If we assume that a significant portion of the city is affected, we are looking at a potential death toll of up to 10 million people, with millions more affected by radiation and the collapse of the region. But let's take a step further and think about what would happen if Pakistan decided to escalate this conflict. Pakistan has 163 nuclear warheads. Yes, you heard that right. 163. That's 163 bombs capable of causing destruction on a global scale. To put that into perspective, with just one bomb, we can already imagine millions of lives lost, vast portions of New Delhi turned into ashes, and a region struggling to survive. But if Pakistan were to unleash all 163 of their nuclear warheads, the entire Indian subcontinent would be wiped out. And much more. The nuclear rivalry between India and Pakistan didn't start yesterday. It's been building up for decades. Since the partition of India in 1947, these two nations have been locked in a bitter conflict over Kashmir, over ideological differences, over security concerns. Over the years, tensions have boiled over, leading to wars, skirmishes, and constant threats of full-scale conflict. Now, imagine for a moment, what if India and Pakistan decided to go all in with their nuclear arsenals? India has approximately 150 nuclear warheads. Pakistan has 163. When these two nuclear-armed nations go to war, the death toll would be unimaginable. We already saw what one bomb can do to a city like New Delhi, but now think of entire cities being erased from the map. Mumbai, Karachi, Lahore, Islamabad, no more. Millions dead in an instant. The tension between India and Pakistan has always been dangerously close to nuclear war, and the question isn't if it will happen, but when. If both countries decide to launch, the global consequences would be horrific. But let's not forget, the impact wouldn't stop at the borders of India and Pakistan. Nuclear fallout would spread across the region, affecting neighboring countries like China, Afghanistan, and Bangladesh. Countries all over the world would be contaminated by radiation, leading to global food shortages, economic collapse, and political instability. This would not only destroy India and Pakistan, it would be the beginning of the end for human civilization. The global supply chains would collapse, health systems would be overwhelmed, and millions worldwide would be affected by radiation sickness, starvation, and societal breakdown. If this happens, the Earth itself could die, and with it, the end of human civilization. Thank you for watching this deep dive into the potential horrors of a nuclear conflict. The world must wake up to the fact that nuclear war is not an option. It's time to stand up for peace before it's too late. Please subscribe and stay informed. The future of humanity depends on our actions today.